We have new reports indicating that Xbox's growth across the gaming market is at an all-time high. And this isn't just rumors spreading around, this is direct reports from Microsoft and Xbox talking about their financials. In fact, executives over at Microsoft have said that Xbox has gained market share in the last 2 quarters. Let's get into what's being reported and let's look at how this could affect the PlayStation 5 and this entire generation. So let's get right into this. Hey, what's up everyone? Thanks for stopping by and checking out the video. Remember to hit that subscribe button and that like button. The support is greatly appreciated. And if you want to be notified on future content, hit that small little bell icon. And if you want to go that extra mile to support the channel, hit that join button. All right, enough of that. Let's get right into this Q3 earnings being reported by Microsoft themselves. They talked about Windows, Azure, and of course, all of the hardware that Microsoft creates, from the Surface to the Xbox to everything you could think of. Yet the one aspect we care about as gamers is, of course, the Xbox Series X and S consoles, not to mention their growth in the PC platform and all other forms of gaming that they're trying to get into. Well, it's looking like Microsoft is shooting up the charts when it comes to the data being provided. Let's get into what's being reported directly from Xbox and Microsoft. Xbox revenue up 6% as Xbox hardware sales tops US sales charts. Microsoft has announced its third quarter earnings for its 2022 fiscal year, coupled with the latest update on its gaming efforts. Year-over-year revenue was up 20% company-wide over the period, totaling $51.7 billion. Xbox revenue also climbed 6% this quarter, attributed to growth in Xbox console sales, Xbox Game Pass, and other gaming services. The latest Q3 figures reflect Microsoft's ongoing efforts to deliver its newest Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S consoles to consumers, with high demand and supply constraints still prevalent over 1 year post-release. With availability steadily improving, notably for its more affordable Xbox Series S, hardware revenue grew 14% this quarter. It shows the consoles maintaining momentum following a 232% surge in hardware revenue this time last year, after topping US in dollar sales for March 2022, according to NPD. Okay, there is a lot to pack there, but let's start from the top. We've known for a very long time that Xbox has had a very different generation when it comes to sales. This isn't the Xbox One generation anymore, and anyone that thinks that needs to get a reality check quick. Xbox has completely gone and taken over the gaming industry when it comes to growth and console sales. In fact, if you look at what's being reported, we know that Xbox is pushing really hard to get as many consoles out to people as possible. The company-wide revenue of Microsoft going up by 20% is a huge indication that the entire company is just doing pretty well for themselves. But first, let's talk about Xbox and what's happening there. We can see that there's a 6% growth in the gaming market for Xbox alone. They've had a really good year and are honestly having one of their best quarters in their history. But that's not what's awesome. What's awesome is that their hardware revenue grew by 14% this quarter. Think about that for a second. After a 232% surge in hardware revenue this time last year, Xbox still grew by 40% after that surge? That's massive momentum. I don't think people realize that. Last year this time, the consoles were new and everybody was trying to grab them. They were a massive item at launch and were completely selling out consistently across the market. It was almost impossible to get a new console from both the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series S and X. Even with that, we saw a massive surge last year in hardware sales like it was indicated earlier. Yet, now we have an even bigger increase in consoles sold by Xbox this quarter after that massive launch they saw last year. That's something I find even more impressive than what we saw from the raw numbers flying around, because it shows that the consoles are having momentum and continue to sell well. But now let's get into what's causing these massive surges in revenue for Xbox and the growth we're seeing. Xbox content and services also increased 4%, with Microsoft outlining its Xbox Game Pass service and in-house first-party titles among successes. It follows the launch of Xbox Game Studios published titles like Halo Infinite and Forza Horizon 5 last holiday, helping drive its subscriptions on consoles and PCs. Revenue was reportedly offset by several unnamed third-party titles from previous fiscal year. The 4% increase in content and services was probably something they saw as a disappointment, because they did release some of the biggest games in their arsenal from the first-party perspective. Games like Halo and Forza Horizon, I'm sure, brought in a lot of people to Game Pass and their platform in general, but it's still a small growth compared to what we saw during 2020 or even early 2021, where people were flocking to Game Pass like crazy. So I have a feeling their growth is great to see, but the lack of first-party games this entire year in 2022 is going to hurt Game Pass subscription-wise. Yet even with that, we have Amy Hood and Satya Nadella talking about Xbox grabbing even more of the market share from PlayStation and the market share in general for gaming. Here's what's being said by them directly. Nadella boasted leadership for Xbox Series X and S among next-gen consoles in several markets in the past quarter, January to March, on top of significant growth of time played on Game Pass and Azure applications for gaming. Here's what they had to say. Our ambition is to power gamers to play when and how and where they want. With our Xbox Series X and S consoles, we have taken share globally for 2 quarters in a row, and we are the market leader this quarter among the next-gen consoles in the United States, Canada, UK, and Western Europe. And with Xbox Cloud Gaming, we're redefining how games are distributed, played, and viewed. To date, more than 10 million people have streamed games. Many of our most popular titles, including Flight Simulator, are now accessible on phones, tablets, low-spec PCs for the first time. Our Game Pass library now includes hundreds of titles across PC and consoles, including more games from third-party publishers than ever before. Billions of hours have been played by subscribers in the past 12 months, up 45%. And with Azure, we're building the best cloud for game studios of all sizes to build, host, and grow their games. New capabilities, speed time to development, and to connect players across platforms. Azure gaming revenue fiscal year to date increased 66%. So, for the very first time in what I can think of in a long time, we actually have some top executives over at Xbox and Microsoft talking about the success of the platform and kind of flexing. I bring this up a lot because in the Xbox One generation, it was all about repairing the Xbox image and trying to get people to come over to their platform no matter what, especially after that massive blunder they had last generation during the launch of the Xbox One console. We all know the history, we all know how bad it was, and Xbox was in a really bad place. So to hear Microsoft's top executive talk about being the market leader in certain markets like the United States, Canada, UK, and Western Europe shows that they've come a very long way from that generation. And this generation isn't going to be a cakewalk for Sony anymore. The PlayStation isn't going to just win by showing up. Do they sell PS5s? Of course they do. Do they get a lot of name recognition across the industry on a global scale? Of course they do, because they've been around for a very long time and have a great track record of games and systems being built on Sony and PlayStation side. Yet now, this generation, Xbox is completely changing the way people consume their games and how they enjoy their games. And because of the services like Game Pass and game streaming, they're able to get into the market at a much higher rate. I mean, for them to be a market leader and also get more of the market share is a huge thing for Microsoft. It's not just the console salespeople. This is all about a huge generation for Xbox and expanding how they make Xbox into a brand. Sure, the console sales are great, and we see those being the best we've ever seen in a long time. Sony has 17 to 18 million units out there for the PlayStation 5, and Xbox has 14 million for the Xbox Series X and X consoles. This 2-to-1 or 3-to-1 ratio is gone from last generation, and it will stay gone as long as Xbox and Microsoft continues to provide great games and great services to its fans. But more importantly, provide consoles to gamers and provide a good foundation of what you want your platform to be. No matter what we see, the growth we see, the market share changing in Xbox's favor, no matter what, let's hope Sony can answer with even more competition and Xbox responds in kind to Sony, because that's what we want. 2 companies, if not 3 companies, as many companies going head to head, battling for our dollars, because competition is the best thing around. And after seeing these reports, after seeing these financials, we can see that Xbox is at the forefront of competition with Sony, because you know what? That's exactly what people ask for. That's exactly what Sony fans ask for, and that's exactly what Xbox and Microsoft are giving them. But enough of what I think about all of this. Tell me what you think about this. Are you surprised by Xbox's growth? Do you think Xbox is going to catch Sony's market share? Are you happy it's even more competitive this generation? Can Sony compete with what Microsoft provides the gamers? Will the console sales continue to be this high? or do you see it slowing down as the generation goes on? Go down below and let me know. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please hit that subscribe button and that like button. The support helps out the channel more than you know. And give me a follow on Twitter at Zalker87. I'm always on there talking games and sharing my latest videos. Plus, I love interacting with everyone there, so get on Twitter and let's talk about gaming. Also, follow me on Xbox Live. My gamertag is Zalker87, just like my channel name. See what games I'm playing, and let's compete in achievements for the month. So right now, I've been jumping into a lot of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, having a bunch of fun with that. It's such a massive game. It's so expansive. And yeah, there's a lot of areas you can explore. Do I find it as good as Odyssey or Origins? Not so much, but I have to say that they do have a lot of cool technical things in there. Like, I love the fighting. I love how brutal it is. I love how you can take people's limbs off, their heads. It's just pretty cool to see. Plus, their executions are a lot of fun to see also. So I'm having a really good time with that because I just want to get to the Dawn of the Ragnarok, which goes way into the fantasy, goes way into the Norse mythology and the lore. So I want to play that a lot. So I'm looking forward to that. And I've also been playing Apex Legends with a bunch of buddies of mine. We're trying to push into rank. We're almost platinum rank, so I want to get to diamond, if not further, because I just love BRs. I love ranked, and I love competitive play. I love playing against other people in games because that's how I am. I'm ultra competitive, and I love doing that. But let me know what you're playing. Are you on your Xbox Series X, your PlayStation 5, or are you on your PC playing something? Let me know down below, because that's what we're here for. It's to talk games. And that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and until next time, remember, enjoy your gaming. Later.